Ayo, 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 review family! My name is Jay Morse, Review Guy, and I'm back again to bring you another video, and in this one I'm going to be covering the brand new King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard album, Fishing for Fishies. So King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard is an Australian rock band formed in 2010, and they're known for quite a few different things. Number one, their ability to merge so many different genres into one cohesive beast, from psychedelic rock to garage rock to jazz to spoken word to noise rock, heavy metal. They've really dabbled in a lot of different things. Number two, their improvisational elements. They have done improv on past albums, and it's been praised a lot because they're able to just kind of jam out and have fun. Number three, their concepts. From wacky to experimental to fun to whatever it may be, they've done a lot of different concepts. The album Nonagon Infinity, they created a Nonagon Infinity. It looped into itself and had this seamless blend from start to finish where you could basically listen to it indefinitely and it would just continue to run. The album Flying Microtonal Banana was a display in them using microtonal instruments and tones, doing a little bit more experimentation off the beaten path of composition. And the album Murder of the Universe was a display of spoken word bits. They used a lot of spoken word backing this instrumentation, or vice versa. I've heard people really explain it either way. And finally, the fourth thing is how prolific they are. Let me just tell you that this band in 2017 took on a massive undertaking of releasing 5 albums that year. I'm not talking EPs, I'm not talking just the occasional song here, I'm talking full-length, studio-length, mixed, recorded, all that good stuff albums. They did 5 of them, one of which was a collaboration. Whew, that was a lot of mouthfuls. But let's talk about this album, Fishing for Fishies, their first in 2 years. What's it looking like? Well, it's not the strongest concept, I will say that. For a band that has kind of dabbled in a lot of just really off the beaten path, really experimental, really funky and weird type of territories, basically their concept going into this album and what they wanted to embark on is they wanted to make a kind of blues rock type album. They wanted it to be a boogie rock, a blues rock album. I remember seeing in some sort of interview where one of the members said that the songs were basically fighting them, or they were fighting the songs, because a lot of times it wouldn't work out, but they just decided to let it kind of shine, and whatever happened would happen. And through these 42 minutes, these 9 tracks, I think that they did a pretty good job of bringing together that blues rock feel. Now, there are those semblances that really do remain from King Gizzard's past material, that garage rock, the acid rock, the psychedelic rock, all of that still kind of bubbles and has its head in the game here, but definitively the blues rock influences do shine through on a lot of these tracks. The strong points of this album have to be the mixing, for one. The mixing is fantastic. I love everything, seems very audible. That is an issue that I have had with some of the previous material, where one part would get drowned out and another would take the wheel. I think that it all sounds very cohesive as a grouping, as a large collective, which is very good. I do enjoy some of the kind of cryptic but readable lyrics. I know that was a contradiction, but some of the lyrics can be a little abstract, can be a little weird, and some are very like storytelling, some are very nice, some are very blunt and just kind of clever. On this album, I really love the shots of noise that pop up in distortion. The amplifiers are turned up to 15,000 at some of these points. Probably not as loud and noisy as some of the noise areas on Nonagon Infinity, but it's up there. The crisp percussion really does lead some of these tracks, and the layered guitars are amazing. They create these really dissonant harmonies, sometimes these very beautiful psychedelic harmonies at some points, and all of this instrumentation bubbles up into a lot of different things happening all at one point, kind of blink and you miss it type of thing. I love the mellotron when it pops up on this track listing, and I really do especially love the harmonica on this album, especially on the first track, Fishing for Fishies. Now, speaking of that, it's kind of this deadpan delivery of this person who wants to save fish. That's what I get from it. Maybe I'm missing something, but he just wants fishes to live, I guess. I do love the percussion in the left ear. Maybe I'm hearing this wrong, but it feels like it's just kind of banging around, having its own little blast in the background in the left ear. It opens up the track with this jammy blues rock inspired thing, and the whole track is very blues rocky, with thumping rockabilly type of guitars and percussion going head to head, and these vocals that don't really fit. I don't like the vocals on this album. I've been kind of waiting to say that. There are some good moments, some genuinely nice moments, but the vocals don't fit with this instrumentation in my opinion. This like with this just boppy, funky instrumentation, it's just something I can't really get behind. It does make sense on some of these tracks where it feels like you are being submerged. Like on that opening track, Fishing for Fishies, it does kind of make logical sense to have that kind of underwater feel, but there are some weird moments when it comes to the vocals. On the Bird song, those vocals kind of come through again, not really making much sense on this track. I do love the vibrant pianos as well as the guitars. Once again, the percussion kind of takes the lead and sounds great on this track. These shimmering shots of instrumentation near the end with these pianos and the vocals are nice, and I can kind of let the vocals have a pass here. Plastic Boogie, huge standout. This is one of the most vibrant King Gizzard songs I've heard, and that is saying something because they've had some emotionally just resonant and just so high ferocity and power songs, but this is a triumphant song. It is so high energy. It makes you feel like you're right there in the studio as they're recording this, and I love the laughing and the jovial kind of feel of this, and it's so loud but so nice. The shouting group vocals really do add this kind of just raw. The Cruel Millennial kind of has this 70s vibe to it, which I do enjoy a lot. The vocals sounding a lot better on this track. To be completely honest, the middle part and the latter half have the best tracks in my personal opinion. Some of the best parts on this album are when the instrumental speaks for itself, and usually the vocals just kind of go away and they just jam the hell out. On the Cruel Millennial, that is true. I love this ending. The vibraphone sounds amazing, the guitars are just funky and nice, and the percussion is just rolling. It feels like it's played by a well-oiled machine that knows exactly what it needs to do. Real's Not Real is a kind of distorted, fuzzed out psychedelic rock banger of sorts, but it does go into that kind of more melodicism and pianos in the middle and latter half. But to be honest, the first part's my favorite. I love that kind of distorted, amplified feel. I think King Gizzard does it very tastefully and very nicely. How does one talk about the track Cyberboogie? It's the ender, it's over 6 minutes, and I doubt this is improv because this is one of the most well put together compositions I've heard from King Gizzard in a long time. Maybe it's because they released so much material at one point in 2017 that it was kind of hard for them to take a step back and take their time. This track's fantastic. This track is so layered. It goes through so many progressions, thumping instrumentation carrying on throughout the entire track with these vocals. The middle part is so nice and jazzy, almost feels like a psychedelic jazz song, to be honest, and I love this middle section, probably my favorite part of this track. Despite how kind of timid and nice and slow it is, it still maintains this energy, like you just feel them speaking through their instruments. All of these instruments on this album have a voice of their own. Yeah, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard came through with a nice album, and even though there are some moments that I don't like the vocals, even though this isn't their most dense album, their most experimental album, even if the concept isn't like as cool or experimental or off the beaten path as some of their previous material, it was definitely an above average listen, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I'm going to be giving this album a 7 out of 10, and that is a wrap. Please stay for the end screen. I'll link some videos that you might be interested in. Subscribe, like, comment, smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads, and I'll talk to you guys next time. My name is Jay Morse, Review Guy, and I'm signing off saying farewell.